Hey, you guys, I am back with another video, and I started watching episode 17 of Married at First Sight, which is Decision Day for everybody. And I'm so happy because Michelle got a divorce by the grace of God. Hold on, I'm gonna just change up my thumbnail real quick. But yeah, nah. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on now. Give me a break. But yeah, no, Michelle dodged a big bullet. Like Michelle and MM of this season have made the best decisions on decision day. I think the both of them. Like I commend them for saying no. I commend them for I just commend them for saying no. And honestly, like we knew David was dusty all along. Hold on, y'all. I'm just trying to hold on. I'm still changing the thumbnail, so bear with me. Bear bear with me now, y'all. Just bear with me now because this is a mess. This is a mess. This is a mess. This is a mess, y'all. Like this is a mess. Okay. So long David was dusty, and I just don't like the fact of how y'all were like kind of like defending this guy. And we're actually gonna go read some of the comments, and like I'm gonna like disagree and agree with them because it's pretty interesting. Like it's pretty interesting. I'm gonna start disagreeing and agreeing, and I'm gonna just be putting out my opinions of like what I think of like people's opinions in the comments, just for like Married at First Sight and like what people just think about what David's actions, like just the way how he acted, and just why I kind of disagree with y'all defending David because I was on Instagram and I was looking at, I was looking at the comments, and y'all were really just batting for David in the comments. Like, for what? For what? Y'all were really batting for David in the comments. And For me, I just cannot accept that. I'm like, how are y'all defending David when Michelle like, and also how was Michelle a bad person in the situation when she got cheated on, and she saw right through David's BS from day one. Like, she saw right through David's BS from day one, and y'all were just defending this guy like he did nothing. Like, he just did nothing. Hold on. Y'all were defending this guy like he did nothing. I mean, okay, I'm about to share my screen. All right, look at this comment. All right, y'all. So if y'all look at the first comment, so this comment says, I need to watch the first few episodes again because I could have sworn this girl didn't like her husband. She hasn't touched him since the wedding. Now she's so hurt. Girl, bye. If she wasn't so busy telling him how he wasn't her preference, and how she couldn't get over the fact that he lives with his parents, etc., maybe he wouldn't have had time to find a love. Maybe he wouldn't have had time to find a love interest elsewhere. Um, I disagree with this comment simply because of the fact that, like, it wasn't that Michelle didn't like him. Like, okay, yeah, she hasn't touched him since the wedding, but my thing is, it's just like it's married at first sight. They literally, like, she Michelle was just adjusting. Michelle was just getting to the point where she was adjusting to have a feel for her husband. Like, Michelle was like adjusting to David. It's when you're on Married at First Sight, there's a lot of couples, the first time they meet, they're shy with each other. You're not being intimate the first time you meet on Married at First Sight. This show is different than dating for 10 years or just dating for 2 years or having an engagement a year. Like, this is just super different. So I disagree because, nah, I mean, Michelle has every right to not touch him yet because she was just filling him out and she had anxiety and she saw right through his BS. And thank God she didn't touch him because he cheated anyways. Like, she saw the type of guy he was and she couldn't trust her gut. But I feel like that Michelle, I, I don't feel 100% bad for you because, Michelle, you should have stood on business from day one and asked for the divorce when you saw he still lived with his parents. When you saw him get up at 1 a.m. and get some tacos, like, you should, like, I think the red flags were there, Michelle, and you just still went with it. Like, you still just went for the BS. So in that, how much percent in that case scenario, I have to disagree. I have to disagree with you. Let's go on to the next. Oh, not the next comment. Okay, so this comment also says, if she wasn't so busy telling him how he wasn't her preference and how she couldn't get over the fact that he lived with his parents, etc., maybe he wouldn't have had the time to find a love interest elsewhere. Low. No. Michelle saw right through David's BS. I mean, this guy was 35, still living in his parents' basement. Like, this guy was 35, still living with his parents. So this guy wasn't really even ambitious enough for this woman. Like, this guy didn't have any ambition. This guy was very lackluster for her. There was no ambition, and that scared her. A man who doesn't have ambition to make money and to be a provider, that is a red flag. This guy was living in his parents' basement, so already it looks like that she was going to have to take care of most of the finances because she has the most experience with paying bills on her own. I get David did probably live on his own one time in his life, and he does buy his own groceries while living in the basement. He does it on himself while living in the basement. But for me, I'm just like, he had a cushion, and Michelle had more of like a strong bone than David, and that was what Michelle was really scared about. So for me, I mean, for me, like I don't think she was purposely trying to tell him that he was a bad person. She was trying to like make him grow up along with her. And yes, she might have been a little bit like her tone might have been rude, but I mean, she was telling David the truth that like at the age of 35, you have to grow up. You have to grow up at the age of 35. Like there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Like you have to grow up at the age of 35. So for me, I disagree with this comment. Next. Okay. I like this comment. Why be with a man who cheats in his marriage? The experiment is literally 8 weeks. If you can't keep it together for 8 weeks, then you have some other serious issues that should be looked. Exactly. Like, why? Like, honestly, I think he's always been known to be a cheater. I think David has always been known to be a cheater. I mean, anyways, like if you think about it, I feel like that David was just prone to be a cheater in my case. Like I feel like that he was prone to be a cheater. And so for me, I think Michelle saw right through David. And Michelle has now I really just really hope Michelle does find marriage in a better way and in a better light. But for me, I mean, David really didn't bring anything to the table. Like he didn't bring anything to the table, and David was dusty, guys. David was dusty. So it's like, I mean, Michelle saw that, but she didn't want to give up too soon. And so she was trying to make it work. And she was just having feelings for David. And then now here David goes and cheats. And here Madison goes and messes this up for Michelle. So it's like I think Madison kind of ruined Michelle's marriage when she was just starting to feel her marriage. I feel like I don't know, but I think that Madison ruined Michelle's marriage as a friend. And then someone else said, "Okay, is it me? I don't see why Michelle is acting like she's not glad that David chose Madison. Michelle did not want David. Let's be real. She insulted him and emasculated him for living with his parents' basement, for not being a full man by her definition, for not being economically where she needed him to be. She has zero physical attraction to him. She insulted the way he dressed when they went out on dates, and she liked nothing about him. The man quit smoking the day she said she does not want a man that smokes. The man has been trying at his marriage to please her. You could beat someone down for long, Michelle, until they check out. She knocked him down the whole time. She was only hanging in there for 8 weeks just to go through emotions. We all know it was going to be a no for Michelle. Why is she acting like she cared about David? Now I know David and Madison should have come forward earlier to end their unfulfilled marriages so they could move on with each other and not string their spouses along. That part was wrong, but come on, Michelle made it clear she did not want a man living in the basement. The only person hurt here is Alan. Alan truly wanted his marriage to work. Michelle did not. Michelle did not. I know people may not agree, but that's the truth. Uh-uh. 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 For me, I put it this way. For me, it's just like I feel like that Michelle had every right to do all this. I mean, I don't think okay, but Michelle was trying to. I disagree with this comment right here because Michelle was trying to make the marriage work. Period. She was trying to make the marriage work. She was trying to like see how things could kind of move along further. And I don't know. I don't think Michelle talking like this to David gave David the license to cheat. If David really was being bullied, see this goes to show that like Michelle really wasn't doing any harm to David, because if Michelle was doing that much harm to David, David would have left the marriage. David would have left the marriage. David would have asked for, I mean, sorry. Yeah, David would had asked for a divorce right then and there. It's also we have to put some blame on David too. There's no blame for Michelle. We have to put some blame on David for acting like he's trying in the marriage, okay? And for actually, David was the one who strung Michelle on. David was the one who actually dragged Michelle on. And honestly, David was the one faking it. I feel like that if David really was that miserable, he could have left. He did not need to go cheat while he was in a marriage. If your marriage is super hard, just get a divorce and then find somebody else. Find somebody else down the line. Maybe wait a week to start dating that person. But however, David didn't ask for a divorce. So that means the blame is on David. And Michelle is honestly the winner of this whole situation. Michelle is in the right for this situation. And I get it. Okay, Michelle might have not seemed like she liked David, but she was trying to make it work. And yes, she might have called out David on his when it came to the position he was in with his finances. But I think she was just being real. Okay, Michelle was just being real, but there was some times when Michelle was starting to get her spark on with David. There was some times when Michelle was starting to have some chemistry with David and starting to feel more comfortable with David. I think Michelle was really just trying to be a real wife and tell David the truth first and just get David together. And so for me, if David was miserable, he could have left the marriage. And so I don't know why y'all are defending David, because David was miserable. And I get this woman is defending David and giving I get this woman is calling out David and Madison for basically stringing along their like partners and not asking for a divorce earlier in the season. But still, David gets no grace, y'all. Michelle is not a villain here, guys. Michelle is not a villain because she did not cheat. Michelle did not cheat. Okay, yes, Michelle was talking reckless to David, but let's be so for real. I feel like that Michelle was smelling David's BS all along. I'm going to just keep it a buck. Michelle was smelling David's BS from day one, and she was right. She was like, you know what? This man is not for me, but I'm going to still see if this could work because she's not a quitter. Michelle is not a quitter. But however, David is at big fault for this. I mean, come on now, y'all. Like David is just at big fault for this. I'm just like, how could y'all really just like defend this man? How could y'all defend this man for him cheating when I don't know, how could y'all defend this man for cheating when it's just like, I mean, if you think about it, like I think David was the one who really wasn't in the marriage. Like David was the one who wasn't in the marriage for the right reason. That's what I think. I believe that David wasn't in the marriage for the right reasons. And so for me, David was the one who strung along Madison. David was the one David was the one who strung along Michelle. I feel like that David and Michelle even said this. Just stop trying to act like you're trying in this marriage. If you felt miserable and if you felt hurt by Michelle, if you felt like that she didn't care about you, why not ask for divorce earlier in the season? But then you're gonna go cheat with Madison to make the situation better when it comes to Michelle, quote unquote, tearing you down. Like for me, that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like this just makes no sense to me at all. Like to me, that is just very diabolical. It is very diabolical for somebody to come on here and just defend David for like y'all are defending David for cheating. Like just why? Like didn't like don't we do not condone cheating. Like we do not condone cheating. So it's just like for me, why are y'all defending this man when cheating is not the right thing to do when you are struggling in a marriage? He cheated while this is not Love Island. This is not Ready to Love. This not even Love is Blind. Like, and even then on that show, like there's still just no cheating. Like David was just very unloyal. And I think Michelle was loyal all the way until David cheated on her. For me, I think this is just the biggest scandal of Married at First Sight history. But for me, why should David get grace for cheating? What, because Michelle didn't even like her anyway, so now he just gets a pass? That's not fair. That's really just not fair. What? Like, no, Michelle, okay, yeah, Michelle might have been a little bit rude, but let's be so for real. Michelle was trying to be honest with herself. Michelle had anxiety, and Michelle was still trying. And it's kind of diabolical for these therapists to even encourage Michelle to keep going in the marriage. So I think for me, I blame the therapist too, because I'm just like, why were y'all even also encouraging her to stay in the marriage when clearly it wasn't even healthy for her? And clearly David just didn't have his shit together and it was hurting Madison. Anyways, I am done with this live stream, y'all. I'm going to end it shortly here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys on my next video. My MacBook is about to die, so I have to end it really shortly here. So yeah, I'm really sorry about that, but I'll see you guys in my next live stream or in my next video. But yeah, I'm pretty much done. David is Dusty, and that's that. And Michelle, I'm gonna give you all the grace, Michelle, that you need. But anyways, bye y'all.